Welcome back to The Explainer. It is so great to have you joining me today. Settle in, get comfortable, because we're going to take a very calm, step-by-step journey into a really fascinating part of artificial intelligence. We're going to look closely at how AI actually thinks, why it sometimes makes mistakes, and the totally brilliant solution developers use to fix it. So, let's just dive right in. To set the stage, let's take a brief step back. In our last explainer, we understood how ChatGPT generates answers by predicting the next word. This is a really important baseline to remember. ChatGPT doesn't actually know things in the way you or I do. Instead, it looks at patterns from its training and predicts what word should logically come next. It's essentially a brilliant prediction engine.
But this raises a big question. If it only predicts words, how does it know facts correctly? Take a moment to let that sink in. If the AI is just guessing the next most likely word in a sentence, how can it confidently answer a question about real-world facts? And maybe more importantly, what happens when it gets those facts wrong?
To answer that, we arrive at Section 1, Why AI Hallucinates. You see, without any external data or internet access, an AI is kind of trapped in the past. It relies entirely on its original training data. It has absolutely no idea about the latest news updates or the current weather or a new software release. So when you ask it a question it doesn't have the current answer to, it doesn't always just stay quiet. Instead, it sometimes just guesses the answer, and it does so with absolute confidence.
This brings us to a very important term in the AI world, hallucination. A hallucination is when an AI confidently makes up wrong answers or guesses incorrectly simply because it lacks updated data. Imagine asking the AI, "Hey, what's the latest version of this software?" Because its main goal is to predict a complete sentence, it might just invent a version number that sounds totally plausible but is completely false.
Obviously, nobody wants an AI that confidently lies to them. So how does AI avoid mistakes? How do we stop it from guessing and actually force it to stick to the facts? Well, the solution is incredibly clever, and to understand it, we're going to use a really simple everyday story.
Let's move to Section 2, the restaurant analogy. I want you to picture yourself walking into a nice restaurant. You take a seat and you ask the chef, who in this story represents our AI like ChatGPT, you ask him, what are today's special dishes?
Now imagine there are two very different types of chefs here. Chef number 1 represents AI without any outside help. When you ask him for the specials, he replies from memory only. He scratches his head and says, "Oh, I think today's special's pasta or maybe a burger, I'm not entirely sure." Sometimes he gets it right, but sometimes he is completely wrong. He is just guessing. Now look at chef number 2. This chef does something entirely different before opening his mouth. He actually walks over, checks the daily kitchen board, and looks at the updated menu before answering. Then he turns to you and says confidently, "Today's special is grilled chicken and lemon rice." His answer is accurate, it's updated, and it's completely reliable.
But wait, what if the information on the chef's kitchen board is outdated? How does that second chef guarantee that the facts he's reading are perfectly accurate right up to this very minute?
Well, this is exactly where the waiter comes in. The waiter represents the retrieval system. Instead of the chef wandering around, the waiter does the research. When you ask a question, the waiter checks the fridge, checks the menu board, and asks the kitchen staff for the absolute latest details. The waiter then hands those perfectly updated facts directly to the chef so the chef can craft the perfect response for you.
Now that we have this restaurant model beautifully visualized, let's gently transition into Section 3, how RAG actually works. So the crucial point here is this simple golden rule of modern AI. First, retrieve information, then generate an answer. I really want you to remember that phrase. First, we send our waiter out to retrieve the facts, and only then do we let our chef generate the answer.
And this brilliantly illustrates what we call RAG in the AI industry. RAG stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation. Let's break that acronym down slowly. Retrieval is our waiter finding the information. Generation is our chef cooking up or creating the answer based on that information. Together, they form a system where the AI finds the real facts first and uses them to speak to you.
Let's look at exactly how this works step by step inside the computer. Step 1, understand the question. The AI reads your query. Step 2, search information. It actively searches through databases, company files, or knowledge bases. Step 3, retrieve relevant context. It picks out only the useful information that answers your specific question. Step 4, send to AI model.
Now ChatGPT receives both your original question and the newly found facts. And finally, step 5, generate answer. Armed with real data, the AI finally crafts its response to you.
This creates a fantastic mental model for us. Without RAG, an AI is just a brain relying purely on its own memory. It's bound to forget things, or simply guess. But with RAG, it is a brain that has instant access to a massive library. You see, RAG doesn't replace ChatGPT, it simply enhances it. It gives the AI a place to check its facts so it never has to guess again.
And you are probably already using this technology without even realizing it. RAG is everywhere in real life. When you talk to a customer support chatbot on a website, it's using RAG to read the company's return policies before answering you. Google-style AI search, Notion AI, uploading a PDF to ChatGPT and asking it questions, or searching through GitHub documentation. Whenever AI uses external documents to give you an answer, that is RAG in action.
So we've successfully solved the problem of AI hallucinating by giving it the ability to search external documents. But solving one massive problem in technology almost always reveals another one, which brings us to Section 4, the next big question. Which leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. If AI can now search external information, then how does it find the right document among millions of files instantly? How does it understand the actual meaning of what you're asking, rather than just looking for exact keywords, and do it all in milliseconds? Well, that is the incredible world of vector databases, and that is exactly the mystery we'll unravel in our next explainer. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you next time.